First up are the candy dispensers. The candy in them is still good. My kids are just tired of it, so I'm taking what's left to my nieces and nephews. The new candy they picked to replace it with are these Nerds gummy clusters and some mini M&Ms.
This is funny. Snacks in plastic wrappers poured into another plastic bin, soda cans taken out of the cardboard balls and put into a plastic dispenser, vegetables wrapped in plastic, unwrapped, then put into another plastic container. It seems the goal of these women is plastic on plastic on plastic. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into something that looks super aesthetic on TikTok and Instagram, but when you take a closer look, it's actually one of the biggest examples of overconsumption. The 15 pieces organizer set. You know the ones: clear plastic bins, acrylic drawers, little containers for your fridge, pantry, snacks, veggies, and even things that already come in packaging. At first glance, they look clean, organized, and satisfying. But here's the real question. Do we actually need all this plastic to organize things that already come in plastic? Let's break down why this set became so popular, the hidden cause behind it, and how they feed into the culture of overconsumption. This organizer set exploded because of TikTok and Instagram restock. Is that moment when you see someone pouring cereal from the perfect sealed plastic bag into another plastic container just to make it look prettier. Some of these videos are very, very addictive to watch. They trigger something in our brain: order, control, and satisfaction, but that doesn't mean we actually need to replicate them. Influencers make it seem like if you don't have a fridge or pantry like this, you are messy, unorganized, or behind, but really it's just a product being sold to us. Aesthetic doesn't equal necessity.
In my conquest to become American, I have an over-the-top
Pantry restock.
restock my pantry with me. We eat a lot of pasta in this household, so naturally that's going to be the first thing I'm going to top up. Also, can we just talk about the fact that B&M commented on my last video calling me the queen of the UK saxophone videos? I will gladly take that crown, thank you, B&M. And it seems like everyone prefers the voiceover videos to my music videos, so let me know which one you guys prefer. I said music videos as if I'm Justin Bieber making a music video out here, but you know what I mean, videos with music over the top. I really tried my best with this like ASMR, like Pinterest video, you know, the American creators, but honestly I'm just fumbling a bag of flour there. I don't even know what I'm doing. But you guys seem to enjoy it, which is the main thing. Yeah, that label does say cake flour, but I've just taken that as to mean self-raising flour. I don't really know. These labels are off Amazon, you can get them, I've linked them in my storefront. They're a little bit American, but they do the job. I already know some people have commented on the fettuccine. Okay, I know it says fettuccine and I know it puts tagliatelle, but in my mind they're the same thing. Okay, so for a couple that don't really drink normal tea, I don't know how this needs restocking, but maybe it's all those guests we've been having around. No, just kidding, we don't really have guest rounds, we're literally loners. I also know I'm going to get questions about the pantry and all the bits in it, and I have actually done a video on it a while ago, but if you guys want an updated video, let me know, because watching my old videos back make me cringe, even if it's less than a year back. Like, I don't even know what I was doing or saying. And for the haters who told me not to store my onions in the fridge, this one is for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this pantry restock, and the voiceovers are officially back.
Let's be honest, most of these videos are very, very satisfying. Looking at this well-organized pantry is gold for so many people, but the truth is, you don't have to have a pantry like this. Leaving most of the cereal in the packet or the plastic that it came with doesn't make it different. Look at that. Crazy. Talk about the hidden plastic problem. Here's what's crazy. A lot of these things people are organizing are already in packaging. Snacks in plastic wrappers poured into another plastic bin, soda cans taken out of the cardboard balls and put into a plastic dispenser, vegetables wrapped in plastic, unwrapped, then put into another plastic container. It seems the goal of these women is plastic on plastic on plastic. And here's the problem: most of these acrylic bins aren't recyclable. They break, they crack, and eventually end up in the landfills. So what looks like minimalism is actually extra plastic waste. I feel like this wooden storage bin is better because it can last you for ages. But you see most of these acrylic bin, those plastic, it doesn't. That looks good. This is funny. Now let's talk about the cost of this trap. Let's talk money. 14-piece set might look like a bargain, $40, $50 for all those beans. But how many of these pieces do you actually use? Usually only few. The rest, they sit in the storage, taking up space. This is where marketing gets sneaky. By selling you a set, they trick you into buying more than you actually need. And here's the irony. You end up buying organizers to store your storage. It's clutter disguised as minimalism.
Let's restock my pantries. First up are the candy dispensers. The candy in them is still good. My kids are just tired of it, so I'm taking what's left to my nieces and nephews. The new candy they picked to replace it with are these Nerds gummy clusters and some mini M&Ms. All the containers I'll be using can be found in my Amazon storefront. Up next are candy bars and then some donuts and cakes on Lazy Susans. This package from Takis came right in time for my restock. They recently launched a new flavor called Buck and Ranch, and I couldn't resist trying them right away. I like to organize larger bags of chips and boxed items in these baskets. These cookie jars are a new find, and I'm in love with how fresh they keep whatever you put in them. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for the snack choices, but it's fine, because social media isn't a real place. TikToker Nara Smith makes everything she gives her kids from scratch, even cereal, and everyone in her comments complains about how long it takes and makes jokes that her kids are starving while they're waiting on her to prepare these things that she could have bought from the store. Meanwhile, those same people leave her video to come to mine to tell me that I'm going to give my kids diabetes for doing exactly what they just suggested to her. You cannot win on the internet, and that's
Moderation
why I
is
don't even
key.
try. I just laugh and keep it moving. But back to this restock. I only needed to refill 2 of my jars, and then it was time to put everything into my second pantry. The 2 closed doors at the bottom I just used for overstock, and that's it. Here's the finished results. Bye!
Let's talk about the psychology of this overconsumption. Why do we keep falling for most of these products? Because it feels good. Buying this set gives us a dopamine hit, and when we post about it or copy what influencers do, we feel like we are part of the trend. But it's all comparison culture. If your feed doesn't look like the Pinterest or TikTok, you start feeling like you are not doing enough. This isn't about organization anymore. It's about performance. It's about creating a lifestyle aesthetic for only exist online, because truthfully most of these pantries looks good online, but reality, there are going to be those times that this your pantry will look messy, will look so disorganized. You might be looking for a certain thing that it might warrant you to like scatter so many things. So but for the ones we see on the media, it's perfectly organized. Let's look at the smarter alternative. The good news is you don't need to buy into this cycle. Instead of buying another 15-piece plastic set, try reusing what you already have, like those glass jars from pasta sauce, perfect for snacks, mason jars, great for drinks and cereal, old containers. They work just fine. And most importantly, you don't need to take out these things from the original packaging if it already works. The most sustainable organizer is the one that you already own. Most times we buy stuff and those plastic, we keep them in our drawer, jar. You can use some of those things. When I cook soup or stew in batch, I like to store it so that it will be easier for me to get food. I don't cook every day because it's going to be so stressful because of my schedule. I have like most of this plastic that I got from buying food and all that. I store those things and put it in my fridge. That works, like it works perfectly. So, but having to buy these sets every now and then, most of those sets that you are buying, you have something that could serve as it, like her Milo, her sugar, and other stuff. When it comes to Milo milk and all those stuff, I like to store it in a container to prevent air from spoiling the taste. Because most times when air enters it, is a problem. The taste goes bad. So you look for like a very good container that is going to seal it very well. These are the kind of things that I believe that we need containers. There are so many things you don't even need extra containers. All this is tied down to the whole aesthetic. Most of these influencers want their fridge to be uniform. They want like a certain plastic, a certain jar. So they have to buy eat in uniform. So when they post some of this video, you look at the ones that you have at home, you just say to yourself, this doesn't look good like the one I'm seeing on TikTok. Now let's look at the bigger picture. These organizers aren't just about the being, they are about the culture of constantly upgrading, because you already have something that could fill in the gap of what this organizer will do, but all of a sudden you just want the organizer. They just have a way of pushing this narrative that our home should look like a magazine spray, that everyday life has to be curated, but real life is messy, and that is okay. The truth is, you don't need more plastic bin. We need to rethink why we feel pressure to keep buying this in the first place. So next time you see a shiny ad for a 15-piece organizer set, ask yourself, do I really need this, or am I just being sold an aesthetic? If this video gave you a new perspective, please hit like, subscribe, and share it to someone who loved those TikTok restock videos. Maybe it will make them rethink twice. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.